Hello everyone. Welcome to the Crystaly Recapped channel. And now you will hear a short retelling of the movie 1,000 Words.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, ribs.
Jack McCall is a book sales agent with an incredible talent for persuading anyone. His entire career revolves around constant negotiations and conversations. Jack has a wife and a young son whom he loves, but he shifts almost all the responsibilities of raising their child onto his wife. At a coffee shop, he lies without hesitation, pretending to be a father rushing to the hospital to see his wife, just to skip the line. He attends therapy sessions, but talks only about his own affairs. Arriving at work, Jack hands his car keys to a valet who has written a book and asks Jack to review it. Jack jokingly replies that he'll read it in the bathroom when he finds the time. At work, Jack has an assistant, Aaron, whom he forces every day to pick all the mini croutons out of his breakfast. Jack is a true egoist who thinks only about himself. During a meeting, Jack suggests the management sign a contract with Dr. Sinja, a spiritual healer who has recently written a book. Jack hasn't even read the book but decides that it's necessary for their company. To make an impression, Jack personally attends Dr. Sinja's meditation session and pretends to feel the effects of the practice. However, the doctor quickly realizes that Jack is lying. Sinja advises Jack to pay attention to nature and what is happening around him. Jack approaches a tree, pricks his finger on a thorn, and begins swearing. Sinja remarks that the tree hasn't moved. We create our own destiny. Despite this, Jack convinces Sinja to sign the contract. Later, Jack visits his mother at a nursing home. She doesn't recognize him and mistakes him for her late husband. Jack is bitterly resentful of his father for leaving the family. He tries to explain to his mother who he is, but she doesn't understand. At home, Jack's wife asks him to move to a safer house that would be better for their child. However, Jack refuses to sacrifice his comfort and instead suggests just renovating their current house. Suddenly, an earthquake strikes. Jack runs outside and sees the same tree that pricked his finger. The next day, Jack feels unwell. At work, he learns that Sinja's book consists of only 5 pages. Angry, Jack goes to confront him. Sinja accompanies Jack to the tree and notices that with every word Jack says, the tree loses a leaf. The doctor hypothesizes that Jack and the tree are somehow connected and that the tree has about 1,000 leaves. Once all the leaves fall, Jack will die along with the tree. Now Jack must learn how to save his words. In the morning, he tries to leave a note for his wife, but even that causes leaves to fall. At the coffee shop, Jack attempts to communicate with gestures, but the barista misunderstands and offers him the largest combo, along with a Beatles vinyl record. At work, the valet asks about his manuscript, but Jack can only make faces. The valet assumes the book is terrible. Jack's assistant, Aaron, begins to think that his boss is sick because Jack has stopped talking. At an important meeting, Jack says just 3 words, but they're misunderstood, forcing him to repeat them 3 times. He abruptly leaves the meeting after getting distracted by squirrels running around the tree outside. At the next meeting, Jack brings Aaron to speak on his behalf. However, Aaron behaves rudely, and the negotiations fail. At home, Jack's wife wants to talk to him, but he cannot give her what she needs. She grows angry at his silence. Jack tries to explain the situation with the tree in just a few words, but it doesn't make sense, and his wife feels hurt. Jack calls Dr. Sinja, but the doctor still hasn't found any answers, leaving Jack to waste more words in vain. The next day, Jack prepares thoroughly and manages to buy coffee successfully using only gestures. At work, he conducts a phone conversation with the help of a collection of talking toys and surprisingly secures a deal. His wife invites him to a hotel where she surprises him with a romantic gesture. She asks him to talk to her, but Jack holds back and remains silent. Disappointed, she leaves. Jack arrives at a meeting about Dr. Sinja's book. At the same time, a gardener begins spraying the tree with chemicals, causing Jack to act as if he's intoxicated. When the partners learn that Sinja's book is only 5 pages long, they refuse to sign the deal. Unaware of the situation, Jack's boss fires him. Jack invites Aaron over and explains that the tree is somehow affecting him. Aaron, though skeptical, agrees to stay and monitor the falling leaves. Jack decides to do good deeds, but even in this, he acts selfishly. Aaron continuously points out that the leaves are still falling after every word Jack says. Dr. Sinja returns with bad news. No one knows what is happening to Jack. The doctor advises him to change his mindset and stop thinking only about himself, especially as his time seems to be running out. Heartbroken, Jack comes home drunk and starts yelling at the tree, refusing to conserve words any longer. He screams until he passes out. The next morning, Jack wakes up with his mouth taped shut and sees that the tree has only one small branch of leaves left. Realizing that his time is almost up, Jack stops being angry at the tree. Instead, he cares for it, waters it, and speaks to it as a companion in misfortune. He reads Dr. Sinja's book and understands that he must fix his mistakes before it's too late. First, he visits his wife and son, telling them a few warm words about how they'll always be together. Next, he goes to the coffee shop and gifts the Beatles vinyl as a thank you for the delicious coffee. At work, he tells the valet that his book is brilliant. The tree now has very few leaves left. Jack takes a walk along the waterfront and notices 2 happy elderly people. He visits his mother, who once again mistakes him for her late husband. Jack decides to play along. She talks about how Jack is angry at his father but doesn't realize how much his father loves him. She says she's proud of Jack, and this makes him happy. For a moment, his mother recognizes him. Jack bids her farewell and tells her he loves her. Jack goes to the cemetery, stands by his father's grave, and lets go of all his resentment, saying he forgives him. The last leaves fall and Jack collapses with them. But instead of dying, he wakes up to a phone call from Aaron, who tells him the tree has blossomed. Sometime later, Jack meets with Dr. Sinja and thanks him for everything. Aaron gets a promotion and takes Jack's position, but Jack no longer needs it. He has written a book, and Aaron promises to publish it. Jack takes his family to a new house, the one his wife had always dreamed of, and tells them they'll live there from now on. His wife forgives him and sees that Jack has truly changed. This is the end of the movie. That's all for today. Subscribe and like if you want more videos like this.